morning, young and energetic STBMs of class 7. May all of you and your near and dear ones are healthy and safe at home. In my previous audio class, I taught you the first chapter of the supplementary reader, An Alien Hand. The name of the chapter was The Tiny Teacher. Today, I am going to teach you the first chapter of the other supplementary reader, that is Honeycomb. And the name of the chapter is 3 Questions. This story is basically about a king who is seeking answers for 3 questions. The thought came to the certain king that he would never fail in his life if he knew 3 things. These 3 things were: what is the right time to begin something? Which people should he listen to? What is the most important thing for him to do? The king therefore sent messengers throughout his kingdom, promising a large sum of money to anyone who would answer these 3 questions. Many wise men came to the king, but they all answered his questions differently. In reply to the first question, some said the king must prepare a timetable and follow it strictly. Only in this way, they said, could he do everything at its proper time. Others said that it was impossible to decide in advance the right time for doing something. The king should notice all that was going on, avoid foolish pleasures, and always do whatever seemed necessary at that time. Yet others said the king needed a council of wise men, that is, a number of wise men who would help him act at the proper time. This was because one man would find it impossible to decide correctly without help from others the right time of every action. But then others said there were some things which could be urgent. In answer to the second question, some said the people most necessary to the king were his counselors, whom he should listen to. Others said the priest. A few others chose the doctors, and yet others said that his soldiers were the most necessary. To the third question, some said science, others chose fighting, and yet others religious worship. As the answers to his questions were so different, the king was not at all satisfied and gave no reward. Instead, he decided himself to seek answers for all the questions. First, he told everyone and found out who was the best wise man in his kingdom. All of them told that there was a hermit who was the wise man. As the answers to his question were so different, the king was not satisfied, so he himself decided to find the answers. The hermit lived in a wood which he never left. He saw no one but simple people, and so the king put on ordinary clothes. He thought if he will go as a king, the hermit will not meet him and he will not answer his questions. So he changed his get-up and went to the hermit. Before he reached the hermit's hut, the king left his horse with bodyguards and went all alone. As the king came near the hermit's hut, he saw the hermit digging the crowd in front of his hut. He greeted the king and continued digging. That is, he first greeted the king and he was continuing with his work. The hermit was old and weak, and then also he was working so hard. As he was digging, he breathed very heavily. The king went up to the hermit and said, I have come to you, wise hermit, to ask you 2 answers to my 3 questions. How can I learn to do the right thing at the right time. Who are the people I need most, and what affairs are the most important? The hermit listened to the king but did not speak. He went on digging. You are tired, he said the king. Let me take the spade and work in your place. That is, the king thought the hermit is so weak, he is tired now, so he suggested now he will dig the ground for hermit. Thanks, said the hermit, giving the king his spade. Then he sat down on the ground. When the king had dug two beds, that is, the place in the garden where we sow seeds, he stopped and repeated his questions. The hermit gave no answer but stood up, stretching out his hand to the spade and said, "Now you rest and I will continue my work." But the king did not give him the spade and continued to work. 1 hour passed, then another. The sun went down behind the trees, and at last the king stuck the spade into the ground and said, "I came to you, wise man, for answers to my questions. If you can give me answers, tell me, or I will return home." "Here comes someone running," said the hermit. The king turned round and saw a bearded man running towards them. His hands were pressed against his stomach, from which blood was flowing. That is, the stranger who came in front of the hut, that is towards the hermit and the king, he was bleeding from his stomach. The king and the hermit removed the man's clothing and found a large wound in his stomach. The king washed and covered it with his handkerchief, but the blood would not stop flowing. The king redressed the wound until at last the bleeding stopped. The man felt better and asked for something to drink as he was too tired. The king brought fresh water and gave it to him. By this time the sun had set and the air was cool. The king, with the hermit's help, carried the wounded man into the hut and laid him on the bed. The man closed his eyes and lay quiet. That is, he was too tired, he was wounded, so he was trying to take rest. The man closed his eyes and lay quiet. The king, tired by his walk and the work he had done, lay down on the floor and slept through the night. When he awoke in the morning, it was several minutes before he could remember where he was or who was the strange bearded man lying on the bed was. That is, the king was thinking, who is this man? "Forgive me," said the bearded man in a weak voice. When he saw that the king was awake, when both of them were awake, the stranger was feeling very sorry to the king. "You do not know me, but I know you. I am that enemy of yours who swore revenge on you because you put my brother to death and seized my property." He was telling the king the reason that who was he and why he was there. "I know you had gone alone to see that hermit, and I made up my mind to kill you and take my revenge. But the day passed and you did not return. I was waiting for you in the jungle. So I left my hiding place and I came upon near the hut. Then one of your bodyguards saw me and he recognized me that I am the enemy. I escaped from him, but I should have died if you had not dressed my wounds. I wished to kill you and you have saved my life instead. Now, if I live, I will serve you as your most faithful servant and will order my sons to do the same. Forgive me, king." The king was very happy to have made peace with his enemy so easily and to have won him over as a friend. He not only forgave him but said he would send his servants and his own doctor to look after him, and he promised to give back the man his property. Leaving the wounded man, the king went out of the hut and looked round for the hermit. Before going away, he wished once more to get answers to the questions. The hermit was on his knees sewing seals in the beds. The previous day, he digged the beds. Today, he was sewing seals in it and had been dug the day before. The king went to the hermit and said, "For the last time, I beg you to answer my questions, wise man." That is, the king was begging to the hermit for his 3 answers. "You have already been answered," said the hermit, still bending down to the ground and looking up at the king as he stood before him. "How have I been answered? What do you say?" "Do you not see?" replied the hermit. "If you had not pitied my weakness yesterday and had not dug these beds for me, you would have gone away. Then that man would have attacked you and you would have wished you had stayed with me. So the most important time was when you were digging the beds, and I was the most important man at that time, and to be good was your most important business. Afterwards, when the man ran to us, the most important time was when you were caring for him, because if you had not dressed his wounds, he would have died without having made peace with you. So he was the most important man, and what you did for him was your most important business. Remember then, there is only one time that is important. That time is now. That we should do our work now. We should not say that I will do it tomorrow. So the best time is now. It is the most important time because it is the only time we have any power to act. The most necessary person is the person you are at that moment or at that time with a particular moment, for no one knows what will happen in the future and whether we will meet anyone else. The most important business is to do that person good because we were sent into this world for that purpose alone. And now the chapter is completed, students, and you must have come to understand the story that the best time is now. The best person is the person with which you are at that time, and the best business is to do good with that person. Now the story is completed, and we'll do the assignment of these chapters, the question answers and word meanings in our next class. So, bye.